to Xbox, the Box of Xbox podcast. My name is Potato, and I'm with my good friend, Alice. How you doing, Alice?
Hi, my pronouns are she, they, and we're on for this episode 69.
Giggity, giggity. All right, nice. And the sexy episode 69.
And it's good timing too, because I think there's all the rage with Starfield and simping for the people at the Constellation. I'm like, oh, what's up with the people these days? But we'll get on to that.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to mention it briefly. who you simping for? I mean, I put a poll up on the channel. I can't remember who. I think it was quite split when I last checked. Let me go check on the poll now. I think that's still got it up. I put it up on the YouTube channel. Who you choose you want to bang?
While you're doing that, in PS We Trust, they ask for the questions, and they are happy to allow us to ask them a couple of questions, and it's all about the reviews of Starfield. So, yeah, it looks like Sam and Andrea is like split second, but Sarah's like 43%, so... But there's also like...
Andrea? Boo.
Yeah.
Boo, movie.
But we also asked a couple of polls there where... Did you level up using the XP outpost farm method in Starfield? And 40%, yep. And 60% is no, never. But that's pretty much tame compared to... Have you attempted using the infinite money chest glitch in Starfield? 100% by 6 votes say, no, that's cheating.
Yeah, don't cheat. You're just cheating yourself out of the game there. So I'm just looking at the poll. So the poll was episode 69 is coming up to celebrate who would you like to bang in Starfield. And out front by 43% is Sarah, who I was going after, and then I realized she's a bit of a wet blanket. She gets really annoyed when you kill people, and I'm like, come on, I gotta kill people. It's like part of the game. Or when you steal stuff. It's like, why are you stealing things? It's like, because I want things. I like, this is pretty, I want it, and I want to sell it. So apparently Andrea is much more cool about that, but apparently she also worships a giant snake that I think that's just dumb. And if I make fun of her religious belief, she's going to be mad at me. Okay, so I'm like, who do I date? I know. So I'm just atheist. Yeah, totally. So even though Barrett's got 0% in our poll, I am considering going gay for Barrett. He seems like the best option so far out of the 4 options. Because the only 2 women on there are Sarah and Andrea, and they both have issues, and I don't really know what to do which one to go for.
Well, I'm trying to root Samco and have it as a married person, just so I can get 15% extra experience and get an achievement for marrying a companion. But yeah, I think, to be honest, when he talks about the marriage and his family and everything, it's all right. I think I enjoy listening to his chat about his family, but I suppose you're not always a fan of it.
No, I mean, we had this conversation on our Starfield podcast, which is called Space Skyrim, which is available on our channel. I talked about Samco and how he basically, every time I speak to him, he goes, me and my ex-wife have had an argument. My daughter overheard it. And I've heard him say this conversation like 6 times now. And he goes, and then we're like in the middle of a gunfight or something. And he'll just go, if you have a minute, can we have a chat? It's like, no, we've had this conversation like 6 times, Sam. Get over it. So I've literally left him on. I put him on Earth on his own because he was pissing me off. So I'm just going with I think I'm going with Andrea and Ranger for now. But if she annoys me, I'm probably going to go gay for Barrett. Probably.
Well, at least you didn't marry Sarah, because I think she would turn from the humble person to someone who's like really frustrated with your ego.
Yeah, and I like being a baddie. I like stealing things, and I like stealing things around the ship, or like going or like saying the evil thing, or just like starting to shoot out for no reason. And she's like, "You can't kill people. Killing people's bad." I'm like, "Oh, where?"
Well, this is why you had to set the companion to wait, and this is what I basically did. Yeah. Like, I was trying to find for some swimsuits in Paradiso, but then I just couldn't find any, and the only way you can do that is by stealing them. So I told Sam to wait by the door, go around and snatch that, and then return to Sam, and then just went off. Even better.
Yeah, Sam's a bit of a wet blanket as well.
Yeah.
To be fair.
Well, what makes it better is that I can go to the trade authority, which the only way you can sell off stolen items is by going to the trade authority and sell them in person. But you can actually buy them back, so it gets rid of the stolen tag. And that's how...
It cleans them.
Exactly. So then I just went over to Neon, because there's a way in which I can get a Rakish Shasha, whatever that short Japanese sword is. I found that it's like a katana, only it's shorter, so it's not considered a katana or the samurai sword. But because I went over to a building, I told Sam to wait by the floor instead of pickpocketing for a card, which I don't have a pickpocketing perk on. But instead, I have to use my bliss pack to get over to the top of the building, sneaked in, and then grabbed a sword and then escaped. And nobody noticed, even without the sneaking skill.
I was just saying earlier to one of my friends, so what happened was I went into this area, stole a load of stuff. I got seen somehow, even though I said I was hidden. So I was like, okay, I'll pay up and go to prison. I paid up, went to prison, and then I went in the back room of the prison and stole all their contraband from the police station, and then walked out of all their contraband, and then sold it straight away to the what's it called? You called it the
trade authority.
Trade authority, yeah. So literally, I got arrested for stealing petty little things, and then I ended up stealing all the stuff from the police station that was like in their contraband area, just walking out and then selling it all.
Anyway, I know we
can talk about Starfield all day.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah. This is where Space Skyrim is. So in the next episode, we get to expand more on it. But before we even get to the PS3 Trust response, we to mention that Lewis is a little bit unwell and his camera might get a bit blocky from time to time because of my internet connection. And also the lighting here at my end is a bit naff. I even turned on the light at the front, but it's outside is so bright and it's like so hot. But I think you had it worse. Just the same within the PS3 Trust guys, because they did their recording there and they found it so hot that Spencer used something that looks like a PlayStation 5 to cool himself, and he's literally naked for the podcast, unless he's in his boxers.
Oh, God. There you go, a special treat for everyone who wants to listen to PS3 Trust. I haven't seen that episode yet, so I need to go back and watch it. But yeah, a special treat for everyone there, a bit of Spencer love. God, I was going to say now, you've completely thrown me off. Oh, yeah, I've been poorly. I've been very ill. I do a wrestling channel called Potato Pro Wrestling, and I pretty much never miss a reaction video, and I ended up missing a reaction video this weekend. So that proves how sick I am, because I never miss them, no matter how sick I've been. I was really sick over the weekend, and then Monday, and it's Wednesday today. I feel a bit better, but I'm not 100%. Also, you might notice in Space Skyrim, if I cough a lot, that was like the beginning of my illness. I started coughing there, and then literally I was up to like 5 o'clock in the morning coughing. And then I just couldn't. Then I just felt sick. Then for like the rest of the week. So I'm sorry if I don't sound great, but I really wanted to be on the podcast this week. I like doing the podcast. It's one of my favorite things to do. This is like one of my favorite hobbies is doing the podcast. So yay! I'm still alive. So what did the PS3 Trust guys have to say about us or stuff?
As I mentioned earlier, we somehow prepared a couple of questions over. And first one is, how did you feel about this person who reviewed
Dan Stapleton?
Yeah.
Also, that's a good point as well. I forgot to mention. So in last week's episode, we discussed the 7 out of 10 situation with IGN. And we were saying how it seemed a bit disingenuous and stuff. This is before I even did the research on Dan Stapleton. Apparently, Dan Stapleton has a lot of tweets about how he hates Xbox and how he thinks the takeover with Bethesda was a bad idea, and how no one should be. It just needs to get a lot of negative stuff about Bethesda, a lot of negative stuff about Xbox. So I didn't even realize how much of his bias he had before, when we were recording last week. So I found out even more since then, and then I asked those guys. So just a little bit of context needed there because Dan Stapleton doesn't look the best when you look at his tweet history. Just put it that way. But yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. So basically, the question was that how you feel about, is it Dave or some sort?
Dan Stapleton. Dan.
Yeah.
From IGN.
Yeah. You. There was a question asking that. How would you feel about like how he's been like against Xbox and made a lot of tweets that may have influenced his review? And you asked another question like, how would you feel if Spider-Man 2 received 6 or 7 by a IGN of some sort?
If basically if there's an Xbox, somebody who was like, Sony sucks, Spider-Man sucks, and then they get the Spider-Man review and then give it a 7, like, what would you do? Like, to me, that seems like a fair question because it does seem. Excuse me. See, there's the cough. Well, I say that. Yeah, it's just I'm not usually one who like I don't like wearing a tinfoil hat and being like, oh, everyone's out to get Xbox, media bias, all this stuff. But this guy does literally seem very biased towards like anti-Xbox from what I've read and stuff about him. It does seem like he is a bit have a bias, which is weird. Why would you pick this guy to do it? And I also feel like if you've got a massive company and you have 10 people playing the game, why don't you have more than one person reviewing it and have like an aggregate score instead of having one person who could like literally tank the whole review process? It doesn't make sense to me personally, but there you go. Anyway,
well, actually, I was trying to reread the video, and I only like did it by a bit of an ear while I'm playing Starfield. So if I brought up anything that is not correct, then please, if any of you from PSP Trust guys, and you feel as if I didn't get the message right, let us know in the comments, and I'll be happy to like address that and even send an apology if I get it wrong. But first off, before we get to the questions, they said that they agree with the Starfield being 7 out of 10 and feels as if everyone's like getting really worked up about the reviews, that they seem to not accept the fact that these reviews are just mere opinions. Like, if you have things that are like low scores or anything like that, then as long as you enjoy it, then that's pretty much nothing. So, what do you think?
Yes and no. If it's just opinions, they're fair. But it's just like this guy's representing one of the biggest media companies in the world, IGN, right? And then GameSpot also gave it a 7, which made no sense to me. They're like, so they represented hundreds of people, and their opinion. They know how important their opinion is. The fact to me is that they know if they gave it a 9 or they gave it an 8, the feedback wouldn't be the same. They know that giving it a 7 is what has caused like massive like traction to their website. This is literally just them trying to get attention, essentially. I don't believe this is his opinion. I honestly think this is just him trying to get attention because there's so many games out there that they've given higher than a 7, an 8 or a 9 and stuff like that, and they've been absolutely dog shit awful games. And then like it's the same guy who gave Watch Dog Legion an 8 out of 10. Like that, like you're saying Watch Dogs Legions is better than this. It does. Like there's so many games if you compare the like in theory a 7 should be a good score, but we all know in the game industry a 7 is a bad score. Like they only games. If a game works on day one, it basically gets a 7, 8, 9, or a 10. It doesn't get anything lower than that unless it's like broken usually. And the fact that this is like a really well designed game that's not very glitchy or buggy, and then the only bugs I've experienced have just been funny bugs. Like, I don't see how you could give it a 7 personally, but there you go. And I know it's opinion, but I think this guy has already shown he has like an agenda against Xbox and Starfield before he even played the game, so it just seemed a bit unfair that this is the guy reviewing it. I don't personally, and I know I'm an Xbox fanboy, so I would say all this, but you know, I think I'm hoping I would feel the same way if it happened to a game that I liked. I'm hoping I would react the same way if it happened to a game on PlayStation, a game that I didn't care about. Like if you know, I don't like. I'm not a huge fan of God of War, but it got a 10 out of 10, and I understand why it got a 10 out of 10. So like that's the same kind of logic I'm going with here. Like I can understand why. Like you don't have to personally like a game to understand why it gets a certain score. So I don't know. I personally, I think they literally picked a 7 out of 10 just to get clicks. Essentially, I think it was just done to get to get people's attention, and it's pretty sad, honestly.
Well, I finally caught up with the responses to the questions, and also I have something that proves to be more harsher than the IGN review, but we get to that soon. It depends if we were to discuss it after we deal with it in PS We Trust Guys on the news. But
Right.
they do actually have the response to say about Stan Stapleton and the anti-Xbox tweets. And they said, which I can guess from the subtitles, because I really want to respect in PS We Trust Guys by giving out some accurate information from them. Says here, throwing shade at Dan Stapleton or any reviewer who doesn't agree with what they got is being pretty petty, if I'm honest with you. And we're going to see it for Sony 100 because people will get copies of games and they will have a completely opinion to myself on it. But I'm not going to again say I'm not going to publicly shame them. There are times where you're right to question. For example, there's a time on the podcast before I remember where we were calling out Greg Miller because he was on Think of Us a Village and talking about, and how he has no experience with survivor horror. And it just goes into another monologue there.
All right. Okay. So I'm allowed to criticize someone. I mean, that's I don't understand the logic of that one. I don't understand okay, but is okay. So I don't really know how to unpack that one. So the guy is clearly unprofessional. He's said all this stuff beforehand. It's like it's okay to. It's not okay to be biased, but if it's all right, if you're going to be biased, at least be honest about your biases going into something, right? I'm clearly an Xbox guy and a Nintendo guy and all that. So if we go into a Spider-Man review and then I go, it's a 2 out of 10, it's a load of shit, I'd be like, but bear in mind, I'm an Xbox guy. That's the logic the fact that this guy is like, Xbox is awful, they shouldn't be buying companies, Bethesda should be left alone, blah, blah, blah. Like, all this, like, so many negative things about the game before you even played it. You should have, I put, I don't know, I feel like they should have had someone who was a bit more, like, neutral. This guy is clearly not a neutral party, so, and he represents a massive company, so.
He also said that I say that's up to Dan himself and his impression of the game, but I don't think his opinion should be weighed any lower than anybody else just because he feels differently about it. It's ridiculous. I don't think that's questioning his opinion with tweeting anti-Xbox and anti-Bethesda tweets in 2020. We were all tweeting anti-Xbox stuff back then because buying Bethesda was pretty bad, and it's just like with them buying another big publisher with Activision. Does that mean that when we review Modern Warfare 3, we're now, because we've spoken loads of bullshit on this, that then all of a sudden we're going to come up with 6s, 7s? No, because any review worth their weight, and especially if you're in IGN, the most prestigious kind of game review site on the internet, you can distance that, which is different from the product that's in front of you. And I think having the opinion that this has been a target attack is just fanboy speak. You pure fanboy speak.
Wow, okay. So that's just wrong, but okay. I mean, he should be able to remove himself from it, but clearly he hasn't. Like, he's literally giving it like if every single review was like a 7 out of 10, or like the majority of them, I would understand it. But he's literally the 1 out of like everyone. Like there's like IGN, IGN like UK, IGN like Japan, IGN Africa. I don't know. There's like loads of different. They're all giving it 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10s.
Exactly.
And then there's other websites that are all giving it 9 out of 10s and 8 out of 10. This is the one guy, apart from the guy at GameSpot and Sterling. I can't remember her name now.
Oh,
It
you
was
mean
Jim Sterling.
Jim Stephanie Sterling?
Definitely, yeah, okay. That yeah.
We'll mention this review.
Negative. Those are the only negative reviews I've seen, really. And I was like, are you entitled to have an opinion? I just don't think. I just think the 7 out of 10 is bullshit. Like review, to be perfectly
Yeah.
honest.
But yeah,
and I would feel the same way if it was a Sony game. And the fact that they think that it's a fanboy thing is annoying to me, because I would literally feel the same way if it was a Sony game that was good.
Yeah, there's another one. There's another person from there who said on this podcast. I'm sure you would figure out who it is by watching it. It's not up there right now. Check it out. It's a good episode. But it says here, I'm assuming that Lewis and the Xbox podcast has gone back and watched a few reviews from Dan's sort of back catalogue over than IGN. Why does he care what he has to say? Why does it matter that Dan has come up with this review? Why should it matter him? Because he already has kind of stated that he doesn't agree with Dan's standpoint on a lot of things. So why did you care about this one? It's just mad. And to start giving Dan heat, and I'm not saying Lewis has or the Xbox podcast has, but there's been people in the community going out and overstepping that mark with Dan, and it's given him some rubbish on Twitter, and it's just crosses the line for me.
I mean, I wouldn't obviously say it's like sending threats or anything. Obviously, it's his opinion. I think his opinion is false and it literally is just inflammatory, basically. I just think this is an inflammatory review and is literally just done to try and get clicks, which is what I've said multiple times. That's why it just feels disingenuous. That's what annoys me more than anything, to be perfectly honest. It's like, how can we get everyone to watch the IGN review? If you give it a 9 out of 10, no one's going to care. They're just going to go, oh, cool, 9 out of 10, we'll move on with our lives. Give it a 7, everyone's just going to kick off, and we're going to get loads of traffic on our website. That's what I feel it is. I think it is just a disingenuous thing, and I also feel like there is some kind of bias towards Xbox, and I don't know why. It's weird to me. It's just weird to me.
Seeing that we are already talking about this IGN review, and to be honest, well done. We brought this huge subject up front, but that's not the topic of the week.
Got 2 episodes.
Yeah.
They got 2 episodes. They got 2 episodes out of us, 2 rants out of me. Yes. Well done. And it's in PS3 First rant as well.
But the IGN... one last thing, yes.
Oh, okay. Yes, because you said, why does Lewis care about this review? It's like, because it completely destroys the Metacritic, and I want to win Metacritic Fantasy League against you. This annoys me. This totally tanked my funny score. How dare you, Dan Stapleton, ruin my Fantasy Critic? How dare you? And also, it's just I just find it annoying more than anything. It's just, I just find it disingenuous, and I think it's just like, it's not nice for the hundreds of people who are working in Bethesda just to get a negative review just so they can get people to watch his article. I just think that's just sad to me. They can't just give someone credit for making a good video game. I just think it's sad, personally.
Now, so I know that the IGN review seems like it's the worst thing in the world, but that's nothing compared to Jim's Precision review, which in here. Guess how much of a score that James Stephanie Sterling has given it? 4?
4.
It is 4.
Yeah, I know. I've heard. I've not watched it because of that. Yeah, I don't even.
Yeah. So basically, this review has got a bunch of pictures showing how much of obsession is about people shoving their heads into people's butts.
Yeah.
And then it just goes into a huge bad faith complaints about the AI glitches and everything. But to be honest, I think there was a lot of interesting points where it's about how much of a local map there's an issue and how much is similar to No Man's Sky. That even though she did mention that, please remember that I really didn't like No Man's Sky to the point where the fans notoriously denial service the website in response to my review. I'm no way praising No Man's Sky when favorably contrasting it against this F word.
So, okay, I do really want to talk about. I'm not a huge fan of Sterling, to be honest. I've got off her content recently. I used to like it, but I feel like she's got a bit mad and like, yeah. I like her Breath of the Wild review was just like mad to me.
Yeah,
like,
7.5 out of 10.
Yeah, that wasn't great either. That one I completely. I was like, okay, I'm not gonna listen to reviews anymore. And she's like super positive about the Outer Worlds, which I love the Outer Worlds. So get me wrong, but this just feels like Starfield feels like Outer Worlds 2. It just feels like an improvement on Outer Worlds, pretty much in every way. It's like the same. It's the same game, just bigger and more stuff to do. I guess Outer Worlds has a bit more of a sense of humor and a bit more of an Obsidian style to it, but I don't understand how you could like say your game of the year is Outer Worlds and then say Starfield's a 4 out of 10. It doesn't make sense to me because the games are very similar. Like that's why I was like, when people say, "Oh, it's No Man's Sky," but with Bethesda stuff, it's like, no, it's not that. It's literally Outer Worlds 2. It's just Outer Worlds but bigger. Literally, it's just Outer Worlds again. And the Outer Worlds is a fantastic game, and people need to play it. If you like Starfield and you haven't played Outer Worlds, go back and play Outer Worlds once you've beaten Starfield.
Yeah,
really
this leads to another point, and it's covered the paragraphs that, well, Starfield's galaxy is nebulously big, its vast array of barren planets populated by recycled assets is absolutely no justification for what this thing truly is. Just another buggy Bethesda game following an ancient blueprint that hasn't evolved creatively or mechanically since Fallout freaking 3. On the fundamental level, Starfield plays exactly just like any other Bethesda game, and it features borrowed and significantly lessened from No Man's Sky and Outer Worlds.
Okay. Fallout. This is annoying me now. If you brought out Fallout 3 now, and it was just better graphics, and it had quicker load times and stuff, people still would be giving it a 4 out of 10. You're saying it hasn't changed from Fallout 3. Fallout 3 is still an amazing game. It's like, this 10 out of 10, it's not improved since this 10 out of 10 game. It's like, oh, okay. And it's like, as he says himself, it's very similar to the Outer Worlds. And the Outer Worlds is a great game, and he loved the Outer Worlds, so I don't understand his logic. Literally don't get it. Don't get him. Don't get it. I don't get the stealing at all.
And it scored 1 point lower than I like Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, and even Forspoken, which to me, Forspoken is a worse game.
Oh yeah, of course it is. It's a much worse game. Bloody hell! That's what annoys me. Is just this so. Dan Stapleton's 7 out of 10 review was disingenuous. This is at least laughably disingenuous. Like, we can tell that she's doing it just to piss everyone off. You can just tell that she's done that on purpose, giving it a 4 out of 10 just to piss everyone off. Whereas Dan Stapleton's like going, 7 out of 10's not that bad, guys.
Well,
it's like pretending it's not a bad review when it really is.
Well, the review somehow peaked when this huge paragraph, and it's the third paragraph of this whole thing, says, to call Starfield the least broken Bethesda game is akin to calling any single turf the least embarrassing fascist. Then again, given how Cinemax and Bethesda seem to treat trans employees, that comparison may hit too close to home. Like, wow. Like,
I love that. I love the fact that it's like, she says turfs and how against transgender employees. But then you also got people on the other side saying, Starfield's too woke because it's got pronouns. It's like, well, fucking hell, how can they can't win? it's ultra fascist, homophobic, transphobic, and all that. It's ultra woke at the same time. Which is it, guys? Have you seen the guy yelling about pronouns?
Yeah,
oh God,
it's been mentioned.
It's hilarious.
And in fact, there was even the Jim Inquisition video in YouTube that talks about how people has complained about pronouns as basically her, like, to just pretty much be as poetic and huge as much as she can to say how people complained about pronouns for the game are acted like babies, and then goes on to see like how bad Starfield is, especially for this all bad stuff. But I think, to be honest, it's just a lot of ham-fisted stuff there. Like, I get it. It's okay to have opinion about it. If you don't like the game, then I respect that. And if you feel like you don't really want to support Bethesda games, you don't have to review the game. But if you want to anyway, and just complain about it, as long as you're really constructive and being able to be more forward with it, that's fine. But to be able to compare things just to shame people for even playing the game, it's just pretty much a step in it. And it just seems to suggest that Starfield is just as bad as Hogwarts Legacy, when obviously this refers to the trans experience we did mention earlier in the podcast, and this refers to the harm that Bethesda has been causing to the trans employees, and this stems from the development of the Elder Scrolls Online. That does not... I can't tell whether this is the same or different with people who develop Starfield, but I do feel that this video, the point of this video is to be able to encourage companies to have better policies and treat trans employees at the Bethesda with better respect. But then this turns into an animation just to like take aim at anything Starfield, especially the player base. So it just seems like more accusations or some sort like that. It's just crazy.
I feel like it's just depressing to be in the world. I miss the days when like a game like Fallout would come out and say, "Hey, have you seen this game Fallout? It's like a nuclear apocalypse. You go around and shoot people." It's like, well, that's cool. Yeah, this looks like a cool game. I'll play it. Now it's like, Starfield Super World, go play that game. Or, xenophobic. Oh, shut up. It's just like, let people just play their game, for God's sake. It's
so
like,
anyone who's listening to the podcast this week,
so toxic.
and you got your fingernails ready to make memes, then there's a few bits there to combine with Stephanie Sterling's complaints about the Starfield. I'm sure they will happen. I'm sure. Yeah, it winds me up that we just can't have nice things anymore. We can't just Bethesda make a cool game about space, and all we get is this shit every week. I'm like, can we just enjoy the game, please? Because the game is fun. Let's move on. What have we been playing?
Oh my God.
What have we been playing? Starfield. That's it.
I mean, yeah. Thanks for watching. Well, yeah, Starfield. We talked about it briefly earlier. Love it. We'll talk if you want to hear us talk all about our experiences in Starfield. We have a whole podcast called Space Skyrim, so go check that out. We will talk about it in this podcast as well, obviously, because it's such a huge thing. It's hard to avoid it, but
yeah,
I love it. I still think this game, I know it has problems, but I still love it a lot, and I still think it's one of my favorite games that I've ever played. I think it's up there, honestly. I think it's a really, really good game. Anyway, yeah. Starfield!
So yeah, I even got Starfield installed at the Xbox Series S, and I was trying to play on it too, but as I play it, it's just like, it's taking too long to sync. And I think it's easy to know why, because the amount of saves I have with it got about 30, and it's now like 143 megabytes, and that is almost equivalent of a small YouTube video, and it's taking so long. It seems you have to wait a few days for it to upload, and then you can play it on the Xbox Series S. And this is the same problem I had with Minecraft. Like, it couldn't sync because of the data there, and all I wanted is to sync the settings up. Then, when I went over to Minecraft, when I had the same problem with Starfield, it had no complaints because it allowed time for the Xbox Series X to finish syncing with Minecraft. And this leads to my rant.
Rant time.
Yeah, so Microsoft, I know it's going to get bigger, especially with Call of Duty, but with Starfield around the corner, I think it's important that not only people will be able to play this on multiple Xboxes, but to also be able to play it on the cloud. And if they can easily play this game anywhere, like if you feel that people should be able to play Starfield anywhere, even if they're away from their homes, then you should be able to make it easier for people to manage cloud save data on any Xbox. Like, you can back it up with the USB, and people have said that Xbox learned that lesson by restricting that ability, so you can't back up your saves with USB, so you had to upload it to the cloud, but there's no way to tell if it's fully uploaded. Like, you have to go in the game, see if it's well synced, and you have to know if the game has been synced up to the server. So how do you tell? If you go in and you had no problems, you can tell it's synced. Otherwise, it gives you a warning. And there's no way to tell, like, if it's properly uploaded or not, and it's all done by guesswork. Like, PlayStation does this better. Not only you know if the save data is uploaded, you also back up a USB. Nintendo keeps the save data and tells you if it's uploaded to the cloud, and I don't know if it lets you transfer to your SD cards, but it still does a much even better job than, like, Xbox. And even Steam has uploaded saves to the cloud. So really, Microsoft, with a huge Starfield game going on, and if you're trying to promote it as if you can play this on both the cloud and Xbox, you must introduce more features to tell if the game has completed the save up to the cloud and tell if it's fully uploaded, or at least give some alternative to transfer the save to another Xbox without having to rely on the clouds. Like, I got a slow connection, couldn't upload this fast enough, and it's just already restricting my ability to play Starfield on both systems. And because of this, if I'm going to record gameplay, I'm going to have to get my laptop out and record gameplay from the Xbox Series X. I mean, this is totally not on, really.
Okay. I've not had any issues with that, but I don't go between the consoles as often as you do, so. But yeah, that's interesting. They need to figure that out, I suppose, if there is an issue, that they need to start looking into that for sure. Yeah, get on that. It's annoying. I hate little technical issues like that, and they really annoy me. So yeah. Should we move on to the news?
Do it.
The news at Xbox O'Clock.
Starfield's concurrent players overtake Skyrim. I mean, it's the highest concurrent. Is that the highest concurrence in Bethesda history? Like, people playing the game at the same time?
Yeah.
I think it might be. It's pretty impressive. Considering it's not on PlayStation, so suck your PlayStation people. Hey, no, but also, like, you got to bear in mind that obviously the Steam concurrence records, they weren't really a thing when Skyrim came out originally. Like, it's become more of a thing recently, and then obviously this is just Steam. It's not including the Xbox 360 and PS3 and all that, which it also came out on like day one and stuff. So we're not 100% sure it's 100% accurate, but pretty impressive nonetheless, for sure.
Yeah.
It's nice to see Starfield's doing well. I'm really enjoying it, as we've said a couple of times already, and it's nice to see it's doing successful. So, yeah.
Well, the Jim Quisition latest episode called it a commercial failure. Well, I think it's already picking up in popularity, so I think it's just pretty much dunking on, like, Bethesda games. So, don't know what you're talking about. Funny enough, that she gave God of War Ragnarok like 9 out of 10. So it's just, you can obviously tell about her bias already.
Yeah, it's whatever. Like, that's the thing with reviews. I know we go back to the previous subject, but I'm just going to bring it up. With reviews, I think it's important to find people that you respect and how you like understand their opinion and where they're coming from. I personally like to watch reviews from Mr. Matty Plays, Last Stand Media, Defining Dukes, Lords of Gaming. They're quite good when it comes to reviews and stuff. I would recommend them. But basically, just try and find people who you have similar opinions to, a similar rapport to, and watch reviews from them, because they're more likely to get it right. Like, as I said, you might get an idiot like Dan Stapleton, and then, like, you might not. you might not agree with his opinion, so maybe you shouldn't watch his. As they were saying, maybe I should listen to his own reviews because I obviously don't respect his opinion when it comes to stuff like that. So, yeah, find people you respect and respect the opinion of to listen to their reviews. Stephanie Sterling, I'm not going to ever listen to any of her reviews going forward because clearly she has some kind of agenda and I don't know what it is. But yeah, I would say Mr. Matty Plays is the one I go to at the moment. He's pretty good. But maybe he is a bit of a Bethesda fanboy, saying that. So, but then he was very critical of Deathloop and Redfall, so he does have he's not too biased, I don't think. So, there you go. Anyway, that's my personal recommendation.
Now, there's an interesting bit of news, and Todd Howard said Starfield could have had Fallout's version of Earth. According to here, Todd Howard mentioned how Bethesda talked about adding the Fallout universe to Starfield, but ultimately this beta Bethesda first didn't go ahead. One of the main issues was the timeline, with events of Fallout 4 happening just decades before Starfield, so it didn't really make sense to connect the two. You hear that, modders? This is your opportunity to mod the entirety of Fallout 4 into Starfield. Earth
Do it.
has a lot of stuff, plenty of land, and if you fit the city in there, good.
Do it, cowards! I dare you.
Also, bear in mind that they put Cyrodiil and some other maps for Morrowind to put into the Skyrim engine, so that's where they've been doing the mods. So it is entirely possible, given Starfield's large canvas feel.
So obviously, minor spoilers for Starfield, but I think most people know this now. Earth has been destroyed in Starfield. I was going to mention this as well. A lot of people are disappointed that they don't have proper Earth on Starfield. It's like, do you really expect them to recreate the entire planet Earth in the game as well as another 1,000 planets? I'm just going to go visit my house in Cardiff and with my spaceship. Come on now. It makes sense to me that they would completely obliterate Earth because it's just it'd be too much of a job for them to recreate Earth to scale perfectly. I don't think, it's not Flight Simulator, for God's sake. Although that would be quite fun. You just suddenly you get into the Earth atmosphere and it suddenly turns into the Flight Simulator map.
Yes. Anyway, next news.
Next news.
Xbox apparently wants to overhaul achievements someday. For the month of the years now, so it looks like they have considered upgrades to the achievements, and it includes adding something similar to platinum trophies. But
I love it.
I think it comes from the new update there. Oh, yeah, there's someone talking a recent episode on Xbox 2 podcast where Jez Corden said he spoke to someone at Microsoft last month about the potential achievement changes. The executive apparently said that Xbox wants to do something, but it's a matter of priorities and time. And it says here in full, I did speak to the Xbox executive at Gamescom specifically about the Platinum achievement. They said they want to do it. It's just a matter of priorities and time. But I do think the Xbox Platinum achievement improvements in the achievement system will come. It's just a case of getting through all the other stuff they want to do right now. So, how would you feel if Xbox Achievements copies the Platinum system thing?
Yes, please.
Yes,
please. That is my one thing with PlayStation that I prefer when it comes to the trophy system is the Platinum. I love getting a Platinum. It just it feels so good. Be yes, I'm 100% in this game. I would love to. I was just thinking about 100% in Starfield earlier. Look at all the achievements. Thinking, ooh, I could probably 100% this if I keep playing it at the rate I've been playing eventually. So how cool would it be to have the Platinum for Starfield? That'd be so cool. I would love that. I don't know what they're going to call it. I assume they're not going to call it Platinum because I'm assuming that's going to be it's going to be copyright. So is it going to be a completionist achievement or a diamond achievement or something or ultra achievement?
It just leads to one of my daydreaming stuff, and I just kind of thought some of the things in place, but it doesn't involve an achievement of some kind. like, if you have a list, I just think like if you have a list and you get all the original achievements, you should get a star, and that's it. Because with the PlayStation, it's just like gives you a percentage of how much the game you complete, but it always shows it based on the percentage of all the trophies you can get on PlayStation.
Yeah.
Whereas on Xbox, like it should display the percentage above 100% to see how much of the achievements they got and see how much more they got for the DLC. So I was thinking, like, if they get all the achievements, they should get a star for their efforts. So, but I feel that the platinum system is good. Also, it's interesting to see like how developers have treated it like a trophy system. That instead of giving the varying amounts, they give it like either 15 gamers points, 30 gamer points, and 100 gamer points, and it just doesn't allow for the flexibility and tries to base everything on the PlayStation trophy system.
Yeah, unless you're like Redfall, they go, I'm going to give you 13 points. Like, screw you, Redfall! Why are you giving me 13 points? I hate that shit. But anyway, platinum. I want one. That's like top of my priority. I would love a platinum trophy. That's like I really want a platinum trophy. Do it. I don't understand why that's still not happened. It's funny that like basically Xbox invented like Xbox Live and trophy achievements and all that, all before PlayStation. Now PlayStation's copied them, and now they've almost improved on them and done it better. And now Xbox have kind of fallen behind. It's like, come on, Xbox, you were the originator. Come on, get your ass together here. You originated and made all this stuff originally. Why are you falling behind? Come on now, fix it. Fix your shit. Do it. No. Yeah, a platinum trophy is platinum achievement would be Chef's Kiss would be brilliant. I would love one. Yes, please. Give me him. Give me. Hopefully, if they do this as well, they'll have like they'll be able to like backwards, like do it for older games as well. Because I would love to get a load of like go. Oh, you've already earned 20 platinums. There you go. It's like, yay! I already done all them. Yay! There's no many games I've 100%.
20 platinums myself on the PlayStation account, but I haven't touched the PlayStation account for quite a while.
My PlayStation, I think I got 13, 14 platinums on PlayStation, but I'm on about on Xbox, like 100% games. There's loads of games I've 100%ed. It'd be nice if they go, here's a list of all the games that we would have given you a platinum for on Xbox. Here you go, you get them all now, like retroactively, since we've added this patch. Like the older games that you've 100%ed, it'd be nice if they gave you a platinum trophy to games that you 100%ed like years ago. Be good. But,
yeah,
maybe that might be too hard. Who knows?
Right, next bit of news. Unity was going to charge developers per each install of their games, but they recently rolled back on it, which now they changed the policies, but the developers are still annoyed about it. So what happened is they changed their policy where usually they can publish Unity games using the free subscription or the paid subscription model, but they changed it where they were going to charge people based on the amount of installs they have, so they can like still earn money for how popular the games are. But now, as it's now updated today, it said that they are now doing U-turns on the policy, and it looks like the developers who will be impacted are generally those who have successful games and are generating revenue way above the thresholds we outline in the blog. This means that developers who are still building their business and growing their audience of games will not pay a fee. The program is designed specifically this way to ensure developers could find success before the install fee takes effect. And I think, I just still feel as if Unity's like tries to feel as if everyone's trying to cheat around the system, and I think it's not particularly fair. And now developers are looking to move away from Unity and possibly into Unreal. So I think this is pretty much a message to say that if you ever step the mark when it comes to charging people there, you're just going to end up destroying your engine. So expect less Unity games to come out.
Fair enough. It feels like most people are moving over to Unreal anyway, and to Epic, so we'll just see what happens with that. I think you're shooting yourself in the foot if you're going to like compete with Unreal and then actually charge people extra to use your system. I think you kind of like you should be making things easier for people to use and not trying to get more out of them. I think that's a bad call, personally. But there you go. Ooh, this one looks interesting. An Xbox credit card is available. Ooh, my.
Ooh. And it comes from like Barclays and Microsoft, and it's coming out to everyone in 2024 in the US at least. So,
oh no, I don't live in the US though. Boo!
You'll be pleased to know that this gives you Microsoft reward points when you do your purchases. So it looks like that if you get the credit card that's Xbox branded, then you can earn Microsoft rewards points in addition to getting some good interest and everything. So would you be up to it?
Hell yeah! Like I go to the shop, buy myself a loaf of bread. I'm like, ooh, I got some points. I'll put it on microtransactions on Halo. Ooh. It's like, this loaf of bread managed to get me a new helmet in Halo. Hell yeah! I'm totally. But no, on a serious note, that sounds like a cool thing to have. I'm not usually a fan of like novelty credit cards or whatever. Like I just usually just stick to what I like, what the bank gives me, to be honest. But it's a nice idea. I'm not with Barclays, so I'm not sure if you have to have a bank account with Barclays for it to work. But that'd be cool.
Well, it sounds as if you still had to get a register for the Barclay card, but I don't know, because I haven't done like different providers for different credit cards before. But we'll see when the time comes, especially when it comes to UK. But at the moment, it seems to be exclusive to the US.
Could you imagine if you like go to the shop, right, and then like you go, I get a Pepsi Max, a cherry Pepsi, regular Pepsi, just like different ones, and then you go to the till and it's like, congratulations, you've collected one of each type of Pepsi. You get the platinum achievement, and then just like on your credit card, like, yeah, I got the achievement for collecting all different types of Pepsi in one shop.
Yeah. Anyway, so next
you
thing,
just no sold that. Like, yeah.
Call of Duty sale is now on to celebrate 20 years of the game, which means most of every single Call of Duty game is now discounted. So whether it's Call of Duty 2 or Modern Warfare 2, both versions, you can get yours for like a reduced discount. But there's also like other sales coming on. So I think you'll be spoiled for choice of what you can get. Like you can get discount on the Outer Worlds or even like Fallout New Vegas or whatever. Xbox has always got their sales on. But it could be the good time for you to get a discount on the Call of Duty game as well as Red Dead Redemption 2. So,
which is why I just bought Red Dead Redemption. I just bought Red Dead Redemption 2. Yeah, because we had this conversation a couple of weeks back that it was like on sale. And I think it was like £10, I think, for the full game, or £15 or something. And I was like, oh man, and then I went to go buy it, and it's like, oh, now it's £70. So I'm not paying full price for it. Now it's on sale again. I got the ultimate edition of Red Dead Redemption for 20 quid. So I'm like, yep, perfect. Basically, I know I have it on disc somewhere, but I can't find it, and I fancy playing it after I finish Starfield. Like, after I've been in space for long enough, I want to be a cowboy again. So I got that as my backup game, and my next game for when I'm in a dry patch of gaming when there's nothing coming out. That'll be the game I'll go back to for sure.
I think I'll be looking to going back to either Cyberpunk 2077 or try out Fallout New Vegas or even Outer Worlds. So I just want to get the Starfield fix and see if I can get a better experience from any of them. Because bear in mind, Starfield is not as buggy as Cyberpunk 2077, but but then if you feel you disagree and Starfield is just as bad as Cyberpunk 2027, then I dare you to comment and see how you feel. So.
I would love to go back to Cyberpunk 2027 and that one. I would like to go back to that. It is on my list as well because this is like the first like Bethesda type game that I've really like spent hundreds and hundreds of hours in already. So I'm very excited to go back and try some other ones for sure.
Forza Motorsport without the 8 or 7? Oh, that's interesting. Forza Motorsport coming this year. Sorry.
It's been rebooted and it's just not going to have a number anymore. They've said this the years ago. It's going to be like it's going to be like a live service basically. They're going to update frequently instead. So it's not going to be. So it's just Forza Motorsport, the platform, for now. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
But it will launch with 3 performance modes on Xbox Series X. So the 3, there's even the graph. So I don't know if there we go. So you have 3 performance modes. You have performance, which guarantees you with 60 frames per second, which comes with 2160p maximum resolution. It comes with dynamic resolution, but it gets rid of reflections, has a baked ambient occlusion, as well as a surface global illumination. Whereas quality cuts down to 30, but improves the ray tracing effects in it. But you can also have performance ray tracing, which gives you 60 frames per second, 4K, but it does the ray tracing so you can get the best of both worlds. So, but yeah, it's just, there's also cinematics, home space, car theater, which pretty much gives you 4K 30 frames per second with all the effects you need. But there's also a bit of a suggestion there that you can get 60 frames per second on Xbox Series S, but it misses out on some ray tracing features. So, what's your opinion on this?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know what to say. The game's gonna be pretty. We know it's gonna be pretty, even if it's like they maybe missing 1 or 2 features at launch, or or you have to choose between certain modes. The game's still gonna look fantastic. I can't see it looking horrible. Yeah, I'm down for it. I'm excited. Are you excited for this game? Because it's just gonna be racing. I think Horizon's more fun, but this should be interesting.
I haven't really checked it out, and it comes out on October the 10th, so let's see how the review scores say, and if it's good, might be worth me trying, but it's on Game Pass anyway. But I would imagine it would be over 100 gigabytes, which is going to be a bit of a squeeze, because Starfield's already over 100 gigabytes, and took a long time for it to be installed on both systems.
Yeah. Very big games. That if you have Forza, Starfield, and a Call of Duty game, and you have a Series S, you're screwed. That's like literally all your hard drive gone. Those 3 games. Oh my god.
Anyway,
yeah, this looks cool. Definitely worth. We're gonna definitely be reviewing it. We're gonna definitely be talking about it when it comes out. I don't know if we're gonna go for the premium edition when we get it 5 days early, like we did with Starfield. I don't know if I'm gonna bother with that. I might. I'm not sure. We'll see how I feel when we get closer to it. But yeah, Forza's always fun, and it's nice that it's on Game Pass. So it's a thumbs up for me.
Now we go through the Fantasy Critic, and so far, not a lot of changes there. But Starfield 87 means it's 17 points, and it's a bit disappointing because, I mean, even I thought there's going to be like more points for you because it could be going into the.
I thought it'd be in the 90s.
Yeah, exactly.
I thought it'd be in the 90s as well. We both did. I said 94, and then you were like, "Oh, that's a bit disappointing." And then it was 87. Like, oh damn, that's even more disappointing. Yeah, I'm a bit disappointed by it, but there you go. It's one of those things. Also, Lives of P looks like that's just come out. That's got an 83 critic review, but I haven't got the points for it yet. It's just got 2 ellipses at the moment, so I'm waiting for 2 dashes. 2 dashes waiting for for it to update on my record.
You said about Lies of P, and this comes out on the 19th, so it'll be interesting to see how Mortal Kombat 1 says in a moment. So,
oh yeah, you got Mortal Kombat. So I feel like I'm catching up to you, but I'm very slowly catching up. You're still way ahead. So,
I'm way ahead of you.
Yeah, show off. So, you just happened to get Tears of the. You got Tears of the Kingdom. I got Starfield. I put faith into the Xbox game, and it didn't work out for me, unfortunately.
Yeah, I didn't set it up there. But what else is that? Anton Blast. Apparently, it's not coming out this year, but there's lack of evidence to suggest it's coming out there. And it's basically says coming soon on Steam. But I decided to bite the bullet and just dropped it for something else. So I'm just still waiting on Saturday to see if it's all changed. But apart from that, I think there's a few that may not come out, but it'll be interesting to see how this develops towards the end of the year. But I think, I must admit, you do have a few games that may potentially take over the first position and get to the top. So who knows?
It's going to be close. I think it'll be a close. I think you've won it. I think you're way out. You're way out in the lead. You got about 70 points over me. I think you probably won this year, but I still have the points to come through for Liza P because that's got a good score, so that's good. Forza, City Skylines is going to hopefully do well. Alan Wake 2, Persona 5 Tactica, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, and Super Mario RPG, which I imagine all of those are going to get really good scores. So I imagine I have a chance of gaining on you, but a 70-point difference is huge. Like, you've got a massive lead over me. So it's going to be an interesting run to the end of the year, I must say.
Now then, last bit of news, which comes out today, but not exactly breaking news. Game Pass Core may have updated their games. So if I put the main screen turn on...
I didn't see this.
They're going to release change the Xbox Live Gold to Game Pass Core, and it will be coming out, should be today by the time the podcast reaches YouTube. But it'll come with a lot of games for you to check out, and here's the list. So we already know there's Among Us, Celeste, and even like Doom Eternal Special Edition, and there's even got Halo 5 and Halo Wars 2. Some of them are alright, but it's a bit...
Not a bad lineup, to be fair.
But it does have Power Wash Simulator, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge, and Vampire Survivors. Also, Unpacking, that is brilliant. That is really brilliant.
Vampire Survivors, though, anyone who's on the fence about Vampire Survivors, check it out. That game is so good. Yes.
Also, bear in mind,
game of the years last year.
Yeah. Also, bear in mind, they will be updating it 2 to 3 times a year. So, but bear in mind that Game Pass Core is going to give you the huge favorites, and I think it's very tempting for me to, if I don't want to pay more for the Ultimate subscription, but I still feel I want to have some of the best games from Game Pass, then might as well switch to Game Pass Core and enjoy it.
I mean, it's funny, I was just thinking it's very similar to so the opposite way around of how Nintendo did it. Because Nintendo, you had NES, Super Nintendo, Game Boy, I think, and then they go, you could pay extra, and then you also get all these other games. It's kind of like the opposite. So they've got here's your massive library, but if you want to pay less money, here's your smaller library. So I kind of like it. I still don't understand why the Halo Master Chief Collection's not in there, or even Halo Infinite. I guess Halo Infinite's a free-to-play online, so you don't really need it in the subscription, I suppose. I guess Halo 5 Guardians is not a good first Halo game for people to, who are new to the series to, get involved in, you know? I feel like if you want to get people to like Halo, you want to build new Halo fans, that's not the one to start them with. Apart from that, very good list. I very like it. The fact that Fallout 4 is on there is pretty cool. Because that's the next game on my list to play after Starfield's done. I think when we get the 4K update, I can't wait to play some Fallout 4 again. It's gonna be good. Yeah, that's cool. I didn't know about all this. This is a nice little update, and the fact you get Vampire Survivors is just play that, guys. If you haven't played Vampire Survivors, play it. That game's just so much fun. Anyway. It's on to our topic of the show.
And at last, because we got the longest intro, shortest what have you been playing, but also very long news, and we're already over the hour of this. I don't apologize. It's just anything comes, we already do that, and we're glad to fit this response in PS We Trust, guys. So yeah, it's all good.
It's time for the topic of the show.
But now for the
Rant
topic.
against them.
Starfield mods. A few weeks after Starfield launches, there's already mods for it, and it improves the game, and it makes the PC version more attractive, because if you're fed up with the Xbox and you feel it needs mods to improve it, well, you're spoiled.
The Xbox?
Yeah, it
How can
doesn't
you fed up
even
with the
allow-
Xbox? It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
I love my Xbox. But no, I don't have a decent enough PC for mods, but I'm really intrigued to see what kind of these mods will come to Xbox eventually. Because they are saying they are going to bring mods to it, I believe, to the Xbox
Yes.
at some point. So I'm looking forward to that. But anyway, yeah, let's have a little look at what mods you've handpicked for our audience.
Starting
Ooh.
with Star UI, and this is basically like the same with Skyrim UI and all other UI enhancement for like Bethesda games. This one,
Oh yeah,
like they always prefer the some kind of like like how do I put it? They just want to bring it close to the PC experience and give you like all the details there, but it still looks really, really interesting. And if you're on PC, it just makes it more of an essential thing. So
yeah.
let's see.
I downloaded the when I played Skyrim on Steam. I had the advanced UI layout. It looks like it's similar to that, like the better layout, the better UI, which is cool. Yeah, I don't understand why. Like they've seen people change the UI and fix it, and everyone likes this UI more. I don't understand why they didn't just make a UI more like this for Starfield instead of sticking to what they've been doing before. I don't know. It's weird. Anyway, go ahead.
Well, I think this one doesn't need a script extender, so you can download this. But
Ooh.
it does like give you more information there, and I feel this just really is good. So I pulled out the screenshots, and right now you have, I think, oh yeah, you already like got the extra details on the left, but it looks like you
Yeah.
can change it, and you can have it more like this. Like the right hand side, very useful, and still gives you enough information. But this, you can already tell on the left hand side, you've got categories, and also has a lot of quality of life improvements as well as the information there.
I
So
like
it
it.
just makes it really good.
I would definitely download that as soon as I get a decent. I'm going to be buying a new laptop soon. I keep saying that, but I will be buying it soon, and I will be playing Starfield on my laptop if I can run it. So this will definitely be one of the first mods I'll be downloading for sure. Yeah.
So yeah, so
Ooh,
it looks
handy.
really fancy, and it's very customizable as well, which could well be one of the most important mods to download for the PC version. But if it ever comes to Xbox, like if it ever comes to Xbox, you can definitely like check out Star UI and would improve the game significantly. That is if you have a Bethesda
Sure.
account for this, unless they remove this requirement for when they add mod support.
Who knows?
Also, next up is the Starfield performance optimizations, and if I bring this up, what it does, it makes changes to Starfield, so it balances out the quality and the performance, which gives you more frames per second. So if you see here, this is standard ultra, and this is our optimized ultra, and you can already tell that you get more frames per second, even though it just like makes the game a bit same, only has better management of how the game looks visually. So if you have a graph here, there's low potato, medium, high, and ultra. And if you have an optimized version, you get about 10% more or some sort. But yeah,
Okay.
it also
That's
uses the FSR2, which even like allows for extra frames per second. So very interesting.
Interesting.
Also, there's the neutral LUTs, and it gets rid of the color filters.
So that means okay.
So basically, Starfield has like color filters which convey the whole game, but it gets rid of it and tries
Right.
to restore the colors there. So the screenshots. So you have one that's like blue, and then it gets rid of it, so you have more colors there. Also, there's before on the
Never even
left-hand
noticed
side.
that.
Yeah. Uh,
I never even noticed that during the gameplay. So now I'm looking at it, I'm like, you've ruined the game for me now. I'm going to go back to the game. It's like, oh, it's all blue.
yeah. So
Ooh, space.
So yeah, it just basically gets rid of the filters and brings out the colors there. But not everyone is going to be a fan of it. So if you don't have a problem with the visuals, then you're better off not having the mod. But it already like gets rid of the filters there and brings out the actual colors of the whole game. So to me, it's not an essential mod, but it's certainly like
Nice, though.
gives a more better balance of colors. And you can already tell that if you by getting rid of the filter in space, you can see the actual space there. But it's up to you. Like if you prefer something like this mod is for you.
Ooh, I mean that sounds cool. I haven't tried. Obviously, I haven't tried it, but it looks cool.
There's also a clean field, which it basically cleans up the title screen and some other bits there and brings you straight to the game. I'll check this screenshot out.
Okay.
Oh, they should be able to have Todd Howard with his.
No Todd Howard, no.
I
You
guess.
get rid of. You lose Todd Howard.
Hang on a minute. There we go. Can you see it? So
lose the Todd Howard power.
So basically, according to this, it says here, no epilepsy and seizure warning, no Bethesda logo video and a logo, and no message of the day. These are only optional, and it also gets rid of the Starfield logo, but it also comes with Vortex and MO2 support. So if you want a cleaner way to get to the title screen, it's there. Speaking of which...
The only thing with me when it comes to that is that, obviously, because I'm playing on Xbox, like a vast majority of the time, I'm just coming back from a quick resume, so I barely see the opening menu anyway. I think I've seen the opening menu like 3 times since I started playing Starfield. Personally, but but I get it for a PC player, it'd be different, obviously. But yeah, thought I'd point that out.
There's also undelayed menus, which basically gets rid of transitions and gives you lets you get through to the menus easily enough. So the key features here is that it removes the fading effects, which when you interact with the menus, there's also 60 frames per second menu refresh because the vanilla PC is just like, oh, just 30 frames per second, but now it just smooths it all out. And there's also enhanced press to exit buttons. So yeah, it's just like it affects the data menu and all those bits. But there's already GIFs to show how this mod improves it. If you see, before it's just like a bit slow, but after it's just more instant. So, and you can also see how the buttons work. So it just really speeds up on how you navigate menus. And to be honest, this is much nicer than well, it's really nice. One of the nice mods there, and I think it's just pretty good.
Very nice.
Now, there's a lot of other good quality of life mods, and there's even the mods that makes the game way too easier, like Easy Lock Digipick. Just gives you...
I was just about to say, why would you do that? I don't understand, because the Digipick minigame is actually one of the most fun things in the game. I would understand if it was like unlimited Digipicks or something like that. I would understand if that was a mod. But why would you make it easier? The game's fun. I love the Digipicks game. That's like one of my favorite things in the whole. This is a master one as well. That's hilarious. The fact that there's master on there and is literally just the 2 lot. Oh my god! Why would you do that? The Digipick game is so much fun. I don't understand. That's like one of the most fun mini games in the whole thing. Whatever.
I think they just wanted to make the game too easy. But,
I mean, to be honest, I feel like this game is way too easy as it is. I'm tempted if I do a new game plus to like put it on like hard or like the hard, like try and make it as difficult as I can for myself, because it is really easy, to be fair. Like I haven't mentioned it before, but I did I did this mission called Mantis where all the bad guys were like level 30 and I was like level 10. So I was very, very underleveled, and I still managed to do it. Like, the game's not that hard. You don't need to make the game easier for yourself. It's really easy, to be fair. It's enjoyable, but it's not Dark Souls. I'm sorry, it's not hard. It's really not that hard. It's fun, though. Anyway.
So,
go ahead.
There's another mod there, and it says here is the enhanced player health bar. So you know that
Okay.
like the red, orange, and yellow of the controller you're holding, it applies to the
Yeah.
player health bar, which means it gives you different colors before you reach
Ooh.
25. As you can see, white is 100, below 75 is
So-
yellow, 50% is orange, and 25% is the usual red.
So you're a Pokemon now.
Yeah,
And it goes, when it gets to red, it goes, "Dun, dun, dun, dun." When it gets to red, it's like, no! I gotta use the potions.
Anyway, so as
So
you
yeah,
can
that's
see the
literally what the bar
screenshots,
is on Pokemon when you health bar. That's cool. It's a cool idea.
and you see this yellow when it's like
Ooh.
reaches 75. So if I just bring
Clever
that,
though.
yeah, so and then it just goes orange when you're below 50, and yeah, it's just red as well. Then it just changes where you can have a bisque pack, but I think this could be changed as well. So who knows? But it does look
Cool idea.
really interesting.
As I said, it does turn you into a Pokemon, but it is a cool idea nonetheless.
Yes.
And now it's time for my favorite mod.
What's that?
Baby. Ooh, you know which one it is. The next one on the list.
It's a roundabout Sarah. But at the moment, I cannot bring this up into web view because it's locked behind the adult filter, so I cannot view the page. But there's already videos and screenshots of this
I'm
where
joking.
Sarah is basically remodeled to have a much firmer butt.
The internet is so weird. It's so dumb. I love it. Why would you do that? I don't understand why there's a mod for that. Oh my god.
There's even
it's
mods
hilarious.
where it gives Sarah more makeup. There's mods where it give
Ugh.
people prettier eyes. And there's even like presets where you get more beautiful girls into it. And it just shows like how deep this whole
That's pretty
iceberg of
shallow.
this mod goes.
Yeah. How deep / shallow the modding community can be. I don't think Sarah needs makeup or a more round butt. You should be. You should want to change the people you're dating. It's very shallow. Very shallow.
So
But
anyway,
no, I just thought it's a funny mod. As it's episode 69, I think that was a nice appropriate ending to the mod section to talk about
I
nicer buttocks.
I always forgot about you can actually have mods where it replaces the image in your torch with things like Nicolas Cage or other things like Shrek.
I've seen that one, yeah. Why? Why would you do that? Oh, it's funny though. Yeah, that's funny. But yeah, episode 69 special ending with the round buttocks. I think that's an appropriate ending to that.
Also, I'd like to
Um,
conclude that there's already mods for it, and now that you have stormtroopers in the game, and it just shows
yeah.
how quick the modding community gets over to this whole thing. But I really do believe, like with any Bethesda game, and when people make mods, it just makes me feel like Bethesda should have hired these people over because they're giving more purpose to these games. And now with Starfield already being like mixed and people fussing over it, which hopefully will just die down and appreciate Starfield for what it is.
Oh, yeah.
They're now going to end up seeing Starfield as a huge blank canvas where they can put their mods in. And hopefully Starfield will get so much better. So to all the modders out there, keep on going. And if you bring more stuff to Starfield, it will make Starfield the biggest, much bigger game that's easily moddable compared to Skyrim. So keep up the good work. Well done.
I can't wait to see the 10-year anniversary of Starfield edition with all the mods in it. I can't wait to see what all the mods that people have made in the next 10 years. I can't wait. Like what people have done with Skyrim was incredible, but people are already pushing the limits of Starfield already. And it's literally only just come out. And it's mad. I love it. Can't wait to see more. Very excited by the mods. The mod system is really cool. And I can't wait for it to come to consoles. Todd, make it happen. I hope this happens soon. I want some mods. And I also want the DLC, which is hopefully coming soon as well, which we've both paid for. So I want my DLC. Where is it?
I just think, like, with the whole mods thing, it's always going to make Starfield even better. And it's going to multiply its really good quality. I have more stuff to do with Starfield, and I have more ideas for videos. So if you subscribe to our channel, you'll find out more. And you'll also get Space Skyrim, where we talk more about Starfield gameplay in general.
Yeah, we do.
So we're now going to wrap this up by asking you the final question. I have a question for you, Chief. So, for the final question, what will be your perfect mod for Starfield? Doesn't have to exist, or it exists. What will make it to be a perfect mod for Starfield that will improve your gameplay experience?
It's a hard one. Balls. I mean, it's an easy one, an obvious one. Get rid of over-encumbrance. Get rid of that. Over-encumbrance.
I can tell you there's definitely ideas for it.
I'm sure people have done that already.
You know that the Walk is the people's champion? The encumbrance is definitely the people's biggest complaint about the game. So expect the mods to come flying in where it gets rid of this limit for the mods.
Thank God. I hope so. The over-encumbrance thing is so annoying. That is my biggest complaint of the whole game. So if we can get that done, that'd be brilliant. Apart from that, I absolutely adore this game, and I don't see any other issues with it.
Yeah. I currently have 100,000 staff over 200. Like, the moment I bring my leg to go for the brisk walk, boom, all the oxygen gone and lost all the health, but I still have one tiny bit of health while I'm carrying the trolley's worth of magnets. And I've been selling them.
I was trying to figure out what I'm going to do with that, because I've just got so much water, so much aluminium. I've got like stacks and stacks of the stuff, and I don't know what to do with them, because I can only sell them for 1 credit each. So what's the point of even selling them at this point? It's ridiculous. Hello, dog. The dog's had enough.
Well, you just put it in the storage in the lodge, and you had to travel all the way there to put all that stuff there. And it's also good because you can use resources to build stuff with. But there's another infinite storage there. If you go to I think there's a lab where you have all the crafting workstations in the lodge. If you go downstairs for it, you notice there's a chest just by the research station, which also has unlimited storage. So you can put all your resources there. And if you want to craft something, take all the resources out and it's yours.
Oh, I did not know that. All right, well, I might do that going forward. So it's in the basement next to the crafting table.
Yes. Well, it's in the basement, and the first room you get into where you have all the crafting tables, and the storage box is literally on the desk right next to the research lab.
Well, I enjoyed. That's really cool. I didn't know that. So, what would be your dream mods then, Alice?
Improve shipbuilding. There's already a big amount of complaints with it that the parts don't easily align with the ship. There's a lack of parts there. But what's even worse is that you can't save presets. There's no empty slots, which means you have to steal or buy ships to get more slots. And I just feel like it's a bit clunky, and it just seems like as if you had to do specific things in order to get the most out of it. So I would love to see a mod where it overhauls the shipbuilding to a huge degree. There's already mods where it's easier to put the ship parts in, but I feel there's a mod where it overhauls the whole experience. Because to be honest, shipbuilding is one of the best things with Starfield. It gets this Armored Core vibes with it.
I love shipbuilding. It's so much fun. So yeah, I agree with that completely. What do you guys think? Let us know in the comments below what mods you would pick, and what would you like to see modded into it, and what mods are you already downloading, or are you an Xbox person like me and don't have more access to mods yet? Are you looking forward to mods? Let us know in the comments below. We really appreciate that. Anything else for today's episode?
That's all. Thank you so much.
So yeah, Thank you for watching. This was episode 69, the sexy episode. Yeah, nice. Let us know what you guys think in the comments below. As is the episode 69, vote on our community poll tab, which is who you're going to bang in Starfield. Let us know in the comments below. We need to know because it's episode 69 and we've got to celebrate in some way. I voted for Sarah, but I think I might change it to Andrea, or I might just go gay for Barrett. Who knows? Let us know in the comments below who you're going to go with in Starfield. Thank you guys for watching, and until next time, Swimsuits. See
Take
you
care.
in space.
Bye.
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 Thank you for listening to the X Marks the Box podcast. Follow us at X Marks Box on Twitter or X Marks the Box on YouTube. And follow us on all audio podcast services. Thanks for listening.